my name is Becky. Maybe you clicked on this video because you want to know all about how to navigate the world of online thrifting. Or maybe you have some experience with it, but you just feel like you aren't finding the good stuff like everyone else seems to be. Well, you are in the right spot. First off, I would just like to congratulate you because whether you realize it or not, you are making the active choice to shop secondhand, which means you are giving things a second life and helping to reduce down on waste. That is huge. You deserve a round of applause, or maybe even just like a gentle hug, whatever you need today. But you're doing the thing. Okay, that's out of the way. We are ready to begin. Strap in, strap down. Get your snackies, get your water like I have. Because I have so many good tips, guys, so many. Okay, some quick off the top general notes. This video is going to be about the process of buying secondhand online. If you'd like one about selling things secondhand online, let me know, we can do another one of these. My examples today are also gonna relate mostly to the home decor category because my entire house is basically furnished off of Facebook Marketplace, but I do think that there's some good tips in here that could relate to other categories like shopping clothing secondhand online. And lastly, I'm gonna be speaking mostly about Facebook Marketplace as the platform for buying secondhand. I just think right now it's the best, most accessible platform to do so, and the algorithm is really great on it. That being said, there might be amazing buy and sell sites specific to your location or like a niche you are looking for. If you've got any that I should check out, leave those in the comments. All right, we are now ready to dive into my overall general rules for online thrifting. Starting with rule number 1, do not judge a listing by its photo. Some people are just truly terrible at taking a really good photo of something, therefore making it far too easy for you to overlook a good thing because the picture is really bad. Let me share with you a quick hack that I have learned over the years to help get through the bad photo-itis. Is that a term? Have I coined that today? Sometimes I will even use a photo editing software to put a picture of the thing I'm interested in with a picture of my home so I can visually see if they go together. For example, I've found this mustard throw pillow that I think I like, but it's distracting me because of the gray couch and all the other pillows with it. So I'm gonna place this picture on top of the chair I want the pillow for and erase any of the distracting bits. So now I can visualize this way better, and yeah, I think it works. Tip number 2, if it's not clear where an item is from originally or the original value of the item is not clear, try doing some internet sleuthing to see if you can come up with the original price. That's gonna help you determine whether or not you're getting a really good deal. Like this daybed right here that I thrifted for my office makeover, check out this moment from that video. Because I'm always curious how good my secondhand finds truly are, and there's one currently on First Dibs that looks almost identical to this one, and it's selling for almost $16,000. I don't know, I think we got a jackpot here, guys. When trying to find the original item, it's also helpful to look it up on Pinterest because seeing the way that people have styled the types of items you're looking to buy can give you a clearer vision of how you can style that item. For example, I really liked the idea of that daybed that we talked about, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to invest the money in it because I just didn't know what to do with it in my house specifically. But then I saw these items on Pinterest and it was kind of like a say less moment. I get it, I love it. I want it, I bought it. It's behind me right now. Tip number 4 is consider whether you're willing to put the work into upcycling an item. Does this dresser maybe have a little stain that we can paint over, or is it missing a handle that's easily replaceable? Having this sort of DIY mindset can help you sometimes get a better deal. Okay, so this light, for example, I got this for an incredible deal because the woman had listed it online with this huge disclaimer saying that it was broken and it didn't work. Now, I know at their core, all lamps are essentially a light bulb to a cord to a plug, and it's the fancy outer casing which makes them so expensive. So I picked up the lamp, I replaced the broken wire, voila, it turned on, gorgeous 70s arch lamp for an incredible deal. If you're a visual person like me, starting a Pinterest board is immensely helpful. This will help you figure out what you're actually looking for, narrow down your personal style, and find the keywords that we're going to use more on those later. Knowing your personal style is also hugely helpful to finding things you actually like when you're thrifting. If you feel like you don't have a clear vision on what your personal style is, we can help you with that. Our Ultimate Room Makeover course has a chapter specifically dedicated to honing in on your personal style and teaching you how to translate that into a room design that's really going to reflect you. Our course is officially out now. All of the information is in the description below, so go check that out if you want to learn more. Okay, now we're gonna dive into some categories of my favorite tips, starting with the algorithm. Ooh. Ooh. I feel like this is kind of like a he who must not be named. Computer process who must not be named. Marketplace's algorithm works a lot more like the TikTok For You page or like your YouTube homepage. It actually learns what you like over time and begins to recommend you things that are more and more tailored specifically to you, but it can't do that unless you feed it some information to learn from. Number 6, save things that you like even if you don't have any intention on buying them. Doing this will allow the algorithm to get to know you. So if something's out of your price range or maybe it's too far away, if the vibe is right though, save it anyways. The more information we can feed this algorithm, the easier that it will be for you to find the good things. I'll be honest, most of the things I buy these days come straight from my For You page on Facebook Marketplace. I have trained it well. And the bonus points to saving things is that if the seller drops the price, you'll be notified right away, which might sway your decision. Look at this, $70 less. This chair dropped by $100 down to $300. That's interesting. This is why it literally pays to save. It saves to save? It saves to save. Nice. Check often. That For You page gets refreshed every single day, so if you're able to, give it a quick scroll once a day. All that being said about the amazingness of the For You page and the algorithm, there are going to be times where you will have to search for something, so that brings us to our next category, searching. So this is where it takes a little bit of playing around because slight variations in the keywords that you use and where you set your location are going to give you different results. So number 9, move around your location. If you set your search radius to a smaller circle and move it around to different cities or different zones of your city, you will get different search results. I like this method way better than just setting a really wide radius and placing it over the entirety of the space I'm willing to go to because that only gets you one set of results. Smaller circle, in different spots, better, more refined results. Something you might not have thought about is consider checking areas where you know that friends and family live and see if they'd be willing to pick up an item for you. Or if you know you're traveling to a location, check out what that zone has in store so you can get it when you're there. So some people will know exactly what a thing is called. For example, in this listing here, they've labeled it IKEA Skiftabo armchair. Super accurate. And some people might not at all, so they'll do their best attempt to describe it in the title. This listing could easily have been mustard yellow boxy armchair. And some people will just entirely describe things incorrectly. Something as of late, I noticed a lot of people use the word MCM or mid-century modern just strictly as a placeholder for anything vintage, whether or not it actually fits in the era of mid-century modern. It doesn't mean that thing that's labeled MCM isn't a cool piece anyways. So my whole point being is search adjacent words that are kind of what you're looking for even if they're not, because it might lead you to something cool regardless that's just mislabeled. So let's talk about some categories you can describe when typing in your keywords. The year, are you looking for something from the 60s or maybe the 80s? The design style, is it modern, traditional, retro, space age, postmodern, any of that? The brand name, if you have one in mind. Are you looking for things from CB2, from IKEA, from Herman Miller? Extra bonus tip here, if you're looking for a very specific style, try and familiarize yourself with the designers from that era, and you can use those as added keywords in your roster. For example, here are some of the designer named keywords that I frequent when searching Marketplace. The color, is it burgundy? Is it green? Is it beige, cream, seafoam blue? You can be specific. The shape, is it round? Is it wavy? Is it a tulip base on a table you're looking for? The material of the item you're looking for, is it acrylic? Is it wooden? Is it marble? Is it boucle fabric? Probably the most obvious one is, what is the category of the thing you're even looking for? Do you want lamps? Do you want couches? Do you want tables? And if we combine all of these categories together, we get one ultra mega supreme keyword search. I am looking for a 1980s retro IKEA orange round acrylic lamp. Huh. That's too bad. So obviously combining every single type of keyword into one search term is a little too specific here, but I can definitely play around with combinations of these words and see if we can get something close. 1980s IKEA lamp. It's not orange, but it is 80s and It does look somewhat acrylic, although it might actually be glass. Okay, let's try retro orange IKEA lamp. Hey, that is super cool. It is retro, it is orange, it is IKEA, and could be 80s. If those descriptive keywords don't come to you right away, try referring back to your Pinterest boards and doing your best to describe some of the things that you love. For example, I love this table that's in the photo here, but I have no idea who the actual designer is and I don't really know what it's called, so I'm gonna do my best to describe it. So I might describe this as a white pedestal leg dining table. Wait, $30? Is this for real? Oh, wait, what? $250. I don't know what's going on with this listing, but either way, I'd say this is a win because I think that we've found this table. And if all else fails, see how other people are describing things you're looking for and literally just use those keywords too. Different people just also have different ways of describing the same thing. They might even be using words that you've never even heard of. For example, what is this thing right here? Is it a couch? Is it a sofa? Is it a Chesterfield? Is it a love seat? Is it a settee? You see my point. Scrolling is absolutely your friend. Remember again, the marketplace algorithm works a lot more like the TikTok For You page than it does the Google search result pages. If you haven't found anything good by page 1 of the search results, it doesn't mean that there's nothing good coming. I've honestly found some of my best finds after searching for what feels like forever, and it makes you want to pull your hair out wondering why you were not served this thing earlier when you feel like you described it perfectly. I don't know. At the end of the day, sometimes there's no understanding how this website works. Just keep scrolling. That's all I gotta say. Keep scrolling. Set keyword notifications so you can get an alert as soon as an item you're looking for becomes available. So for example, I was on the hunt for this sofa here. It's actually the one that I'm sitting on right now as well. And I knew that it was a very desirable item. And when it became available, if it did, I did not want to miss it. I happen to know the name of the designer of this sofa, so I set up a notification for this title. You can also put in how much you're willing to spend and how far you'd be willing to travel. And as soon as something comes available, you'll be notified right away, like I was. If you're like me, you might just like the hunt because it's fun to browse through things like it is in a physical thrift store, but you might not always have a need for something in specific. This is where I suggest that you use the category feature on Marketplace to sort your saves. That way, when you do need, let's say, a lamp, you already have a list of things to look through instead of feeling like you're starting your hunt all the way from the beginning. This brings me to the point that good things take time to find. So if you can build up those albums, it's gonna help you in the future because it can be really difficult to find the exact thing you're looking for all in one day. Trust me. Lots of makeovers on very tight timelines in my pocket to back this up. And to add things to collections is super simple. You can create a new collection here, call it whatever you want. Then all you need to do is pull up your saves and add them into the collections. Put that one in lighting. I will put that one into tables, and I'll put that one into chairs. Open your mind to the types of things you can actually buy on Facebook Marketplace because it's actually more than just cute clothing and decor. As you might know, I'm currently on the journey of slowly renovating my entire house, and I'm trying to do it all by using as many secondhand materials as possible. And yes, this even extends to my building materials. I found a half-open box of tile and used that to tile the back of my coffee bar. And in my previous kitchen makeover, I needed a small piece of drywall to make my range hood vent cover, and I found a piece of drywall on Marketplace for $5. Didn't have to buy the whole sheet, was only $5. So I like to consider every purchase that I need to make an opportunity to buy something secondhand, and therefore eliminate the waste that would have been made if I had bought that thing new. No matter what it is, I always check Marketplace first because you literally never know. Okay, so we've talked all about searching, using keywords, getting our For You page in a really great place, but now what about actually buying something? Every time I take a water break, you should too. Okay, listen. Even though somebody is technically selling something online, it doesn't mean they're good at it, respectfully. Sometimes there is a bit of skill involved to make sure you actually get the thing that you want to buy. Let's talk about it. Use literally any other message than the auto-suggested, "Hello, is this available?" to get their attention. If an item is in high demand, a seller could get 20 plus of these identical messages. You wanna make sure that yours stands out. Make it as easy as possible for the seller to pick you out of other people. I always like to say, if I can come get this right away, or I can come tonight and pick this up, because I know a lot of people are just eager to either make money or move things on. So if you can guarantee a fast pickup date, they might pick you. If you can't pick up something right away and you think it's gonna go fast, you could try offering a deposit to help secure your purchase. Hi there, I'm super interested in this table. I'll pay you $100 if you can guarantee the sale to me. Okay, now here is my best kept secret that has actually worked like many times in my favor. If you're looking at an item and it's like a strong maybe, just send the seller a message anyways, asking about availability or whatever else you want to say. Just get your message out there. Sometimes sellers, if they're good, decent people, will honor the first person that messaged them over other people. So the faster you can get your message to them, the more likely they are to give it to you. And that's okay if you think about it and you want to back out later. No problem, at least your message was timestamped first. Like the story with this wall shelf behind me. I had been on the hunt for something like this for years at this point. So when I saw one become available, I messaged the seller right away asking when I could come look at it before I even took out the measuring tape. I didn't even know if this was gonna fit in my house or how I would logistically transport it here, but I figured I could figure that out while he got back to me. And worst case, I would just have to cancel. So after figuring out that yes, this would fit, in fact, it would be so perfect for this house, I still hadn't heard back. So I followed up with him. He apologized, saying he'd been so inundated with messages about this, but since he noticed I had messaged him first, he was gonna honor my offer and I could come that very weekend. There's no guarantee it's always gonna go this way, but nice people do exist. Now, if you don't desperately need the thing that you found, and you're maybe okay if you don't get it, but you're more so looking for a good deal, let's talk about bargaining. I used to be way more of an in-person haggler than I am now. I don't know. Nerves are getting to me with age. Does that even make sense? Who knows? But I like to get all that stuff sorted before I even go to meet the person. So something to note when offering your price beforehand is that usually people will tend to list an item a little bit higher than what they're actually willing to let it go for. So, I mean, depending on the total cost, I like to go in at maybe $10 to $30 lower than what they're asking for. Oftentimes, they'll say okay. Bonus points if you can double that with a "I will come today." Usually it's yours. However, you might not always want to lock yourself into a guaranteed sale at a guaranteed price if you're not sure of the actual state of the item or it's really expensive. So in those scenarios, I try not to say that I am 100% set on buying the item so that you have a bit of an out later when you go to see the thing and maybe it's not as advertised or it's just not right for you. Something you can try instead is saying, when can I come take a look at the item, instead of when can I come pick it up. You may also need to negotiate on the spot if you get there and for whatever reason the item isn't fully as advertised. Maybe it's a little more damaged than they let on. So what I would do is just point out the inconsistencies and maybe offer like $10 lower. Usually they should be aware of their deception and they will go for it. That is if you still decide you want the item. When you're buying something, just take a look and see if the seller is also selling other things. Chances are if you like one of their things, you might just like their style and there could be other things you want as well. This is a great time to negotiate a bulk deal. Ooh, these are cute, set of 3. Okay, so we can always try a, "Hi there, I'm interested in these and the glass IKEA table you have for sale. Would you take $175 for both?" You never know. And it never hurts to ask about delivery. Some people will offer it, some people won't, some people will charge for it. Find out if this is an option for you. This could also come into play in the searching process from earlier. Consider this, maybe the seller lives outside of the major city that you live in, and maybe that seller commutes into the city every day for work. It could actually be really easy for them to bring it with them and meet you somewhere in the city. For example, many years ago, I found this amazing wicker shelf, really good deal. The only problem is the seller was like about an hour away from me. I just told them where I lived and asked if they were ever coming my direction. Turns out that very weekend, they were driving right by me on the way to go somewhere else. They were down to bring it. We met in a parking lot. It was so easy, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't even ask. Okay, so you're now all set on buying an item. Let's talk about picking it up. A general safety rule, which I feel like I have to impart onto you, is to never go alone. Now, I am the biggest culprit of failing to follow this rule. This is more of a do as I say, not do as I do. In general, I feel the vibe out when I'm chatting with the person. If I'm getting any weird sorts of vibes, I totally bring someone else. This is not a fail-safe rule though. At the very least, always let someone know where you are going and the time frame of how long you should be gone. Alternatively, you can suggest a safe space to meet up instead of going to their place. For example, maybe you want to meet up in the parking lot of a major mall where you know there's going to be lots of people around.
Okay, so recently I picked up this camera from someone off of Facebook Marketplace, and he asked me to meet him at the local police station. So I've since learned that across Canada and the US, police stations have designated buy and sell safe zones. These are places that you can go meet people for online sales to help prevent robbery, theft, or fraud. Now you know, I didn't know either. Now you do too.
And before you set out to go, something that seems obvious, but even I forget, is make sure the item you're picking up actually fits in the vehicle that you are bringing, or make sure that you can lift the thing if you are going by yourself. You can't always rely on the fact that the seller is gonna help you out with moving the thing. If you are totally set on an item that you can't lift or don't have a vehicle for, you can totally consider renting a car for it. I have done this before. Some great resources are like a U-Haul or an Enterprise to get a Sprinter type van. I know you can also rent trucks from Home Depot on an hourly rate, which is great if you don't need to commit to an entire day of renting a vehicle. Or there are also car share apps where you can rent other people's actual vehicles, like Turo is one that we've used in the past. And my very last tip that I have for you is screenshot the photos of your items before you go to pick them up. Some people are super fast about deleting a listing as soon as you pick it up, and the original photos will be gone forever. You cannot get them back. Trust me, I have tried. It's truly heartbreaking. And I'm saying this because I know you're gonna wanna do a what I thrifted versus how I styled it TikTok, and you are going to need those original photos, trust me. So get them while you have them. Thank you so much for listening to my very extensive list of all my very favorite tips that I have accumulated over years of online thrifting. I hope that there was at least 1 or 2 new things that you maybe learned today. Do you have a tip that I maybe missed? Please share it with me in the comments below because I'm always down to learn from you guys. Are you curious about in-store thrifting? Well, then you have to check out this video that Kelsey made all about her very best thrift store hacks. Do you want to know more about online auctions, which is like another form of e-thrifting? Well, I have a video entirely about navigating estate sales and online auctions, and you can check that out as well here. Both of those videos will also be linked in the description. And that is all I have for you. See you next time. Bye.